Hi, and thank you for joining me this week for my pick of the week. There's a lot of great things going on that I want to tell you about, but I have to narrow it down to the biggest thing coming up right now, and that is our deacon orientation. Now, you might be wondering why a deacon orientation. You might also wonder who can go to that. Well, first, let's talk about why. There are a lot of deacons in a lot of churches, generally speaking, that either don't know what to do, aren't called to it, or they're in it for power and control. None of those line up with the deacon that God wants a deacon to be. And so in the deacon orientation, we're using Pastor Johnny Hunt's training to teach you about the deacon that God wants you to be, and ultimately the deacon you want to be if you want God's will for your life. Now, who can come to this? Well, that's kind of different too, because we're doing a full training from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. And we'll talk about all of the opportunities that God has given deacons. We'll talk about the training opportunities, the learning opportunities, the servanthood, and Pastor Johnny Hunt will join us through his study to teach us those things. Now, here's the thing. You may not know if you're called to be a deacon. You may not know if God has laid it on your heart. You may not even be sure. And in a lot of situations, people say you have to know before you go to do that. But here at this training, you don't have to know. In fact, the orientation is all about helping discover God's purpose for your life. You may walk out of this thing and say, God has not called me to be a deacon. And that's okay. In fact, that's great if God has not called you to do it. So join us Saturday, March 14th, 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. in this fellowship hall at Smith Street Baptist Church. This is not just open to members here that might be a deacon here. It's really open to any men anywhere that want to come and join us. If you'll sign up on our website, smithstreetbaptistchurch.org, we'll be glad to have you here. And we're going to keep you during lunch, but our deacons are providing lunch, serving, and they're doing some teaching as well. A great day. And if you don't believe me, if you're not sold yet on this free opportunity to come and take a part Johnny Hunt's training, then listen to what Tom Rayner says about this training. And I'll see you hopefully on Saturday, Lord willing, at Smith Street Baptist Church.
I was 26 years old when I found out that my church had elected me as a deacon. This was a couple of years before God had called me into vocational ministry. And here I was, a young deacon, a young man, and hardly had any experience in ministry. And of course, the first question that I asked was, what am I supposed to do? Now, there were a lot of good resources provided me. I don't want to make light of them, but I wish I had had something like you are about to hear and see. I wish I had had something that would tell me what kind of deacon the church and God wants me to be. And now you have the opportunity to listen to one of God's choice leaders and servants, Johnny Hunt. When I think of Johnny Hunt and his great leadership and ministry at First Baptist Woodstock, there are very few comparisons. The number of people that have been reached for Christ over the years, the number of ministers who have been mentored, and the number of ministers who have been helped and counseled. The great Sunday school program that is unique to First Baptist Woodstock. There are probably few other people as qualified, not only in the Southern Baptist Convention, but beyond, to talk about deacon ministry. And as you listen and watch this insightful video, it is my prayer that this video will make a difference for your church, for your ministry, and ultimately for the kingdom. On behalf of Lifeway Christian Resources, we celebrate this with you, and it is my prayer that you will learn to truly be a better deacon.